Welcome back to my channel, Shoulders of Giants. Hope everyone's doing well in this pandemic and stay hydrated and take care. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back because today I'm going to talk about an interesting topic. It'll be a short video, but it'll be an interesting one. It's about opening a Singapore bank account for Malaysians. So, a lot of people ask me, why should you open a Singapore bank account for Malaysians? Like, let's say if I'm Malaysian, I'm working in Malaysia, why should I care about having Singapore dollars or SGD in a Singapore bank account? So first, I want to clarify, who is it for? Like, who should open a Singapore bank account? So it's for people who want to conduct investment opportunities in Singapore. So people who wants to maybe hedge their investments, they not just want to invest in like Malaysian stocks or Malaysian real estate, but they want to branch out into Singapore. And the second is like people who might want to work or study in Singapore in the future. So it's good. It's a good thing to have a bank account because a bank account open access for yourself to have other. It links to a lot of things, like you can pay your bills, you can have a debit card, you can do investments, you can buy things through bank transactions and stuff. And today I want to introduce two of the banks that I know of that actually offer Malaysians who work and live in Malaysia but want to open a Singapore dollar account. So you can open this bank's accounts directly from Malaysia, and the first bank is Maybank, and the second bank is called CIMB. And the type of account for Maybank is called an iSavvy account, and it's a account designed specifically for Malaysians that want to open a Singapore bank account. And for CIMB, it's basically named CIMB Click Singapore. And one thing that you have to note is that to open a SGD account with Maybank or CIMB, you actually need to own a local bank account with them first. So you need a ringgit account with Maybank, and you need a ringgit account with CIMB first. Then only the next step is to apply for a Singapore bank account with them. And of course, like your mileage might vary, and it depends like how close your relationship is it with the bank, and they might ask you for more questions or less questions depending on the your history with them. So just want to let you see like what are the requirements for Maybank. So as you can see here, this is a form of to open an iSavvy savings account, and it's please states here for Maybank Malaysia customers only. So it's strictly designed for Malaysian customers who live in Malaysia, but they want to open a Singapore bank account. So you can see a bunch of details here that they ask you, and the name, personal information, and stuff. And what they also ask you like what do you want to use this bank account for? So all here is like all this information, and somewhere over here they will ask you what is your purpose of the bank account. Um, Not sure where, but it's somewhere over here. Let me search purpose, right? Yeah, there is the at the start. Right at the start, it asks for your purpose of the bank account. And as far as I know, right, most people uh, put this purpose here as investments. Of course, if you can go into detail, you should write it in detail. But a lot of people simply just put, I want to make investments in Singapore, or I want to buy a equity plan, or I want to open a brokerage account in Singapore, and I want to do investments in Singapore. And just put their purpose here. And if everything checks out, there should be no problem in approving your account. And similar with CIMB, they have a, of course, first you have to open a CIMB Malaysian account. And then after that, after you open a CIMB Malaysian account, then you can request to open a CIMB Singapore account, CIMB Clicks. And uh, the good thing about CIMB is that you can link both your account together, and you can do uh, transfers between your CIMB Malaysian account and CIMB Singapore account. And the same goes with Maybank. You can transfer money from your Maybank Malaysian account to your Maybank Singapore account. But of course, there are fees that apply. and generally the fees are pretty standard and it's pretty similar for any Malaysian bank account to transfer to a Singapore bank account. So let's go into the why. Why do you want to open a Singapore bank account for Malaysians, right? So the first point is that it opens up access to a lot of Singapore-based investment opportunities. And one of the points is that you can invest in Singapore REITs, which is real estate investment trust. I made a video on how to invest in Singapore REITs, and it's through this platform called Scythe. And if you want to know in more details, please scroll through my channel and find that video. I also link it in the description down below. And you can invest in Singapore stock markets. So you can, it's like Singapore itself has their own stock exchange, and you can invest in their stock market. Or you can invest in a Singapore-based brokerage account. For example, you can invest in IBKR, Interactive Brokers. You can invest in TD Ameritrade, which they are based in Singapore. Or you can invest in uh, FSN, Fund Super Smart. So like these are the some of the it was Singapore-based investment accounts like Scythe. You can invest in Singapore REITs, or they also have a global equity, which is equities in the US. Stashaway, Stashaway Singapore. Stashaway is also available in Malaysia, but if you want, you can invest in Stashaway Singapore if you so choose. And like funding societies, which is like a P2P platform, they're also in Singapore. So let's say you feel like the default rates, like funding societies is in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore, but you feel the default rates in Malaysia is too high, you can check out funding societies Singapore and invest there. Maybe the default rate is much lower and you can get better returns. And the next point is like easier access of currency flow. Um, like a bunch of global international brokerage, they accept SGD as currency of transaction. For example, IBKR, Interactive Brokers, they accept Singapore dollar to be deposited into the account and use it as a currency to invest in stocks. So there's only a few currencies that IBKR accepts, and Singapore dollar is one of them. Other benefits is like easier access for remittance in global markets. So like if you want to pay someone globally or anything, chances are Singapore dollar is much more accepted than ringgit. Um, Sad to say, but that's the fact. And also doing international business, a lot of international business and global payment platforms, they chances are they will accept Singapore dollar first before ringgit. Things like all the fintech platforms like PayPal, Square, Revolut, TransferWise, chances are they would have better support for Singapore dollar compared to ringgit. And of course, eventually they will support ringgit too, but it might come at a slower pace. And the next step is having a Singapore dollar bank account is you can have a hedge against the ringgit or other currencies. So let's say you store some money in Singapore dollar, and if the ringgit goes down, you still have some hedge in your Singapore dollar. And similar concept, you can hedge against other currencies, for whatever currencies you own. And the next benefit is it's the first steps towards working in Singapore if you so intend to. So if in the future you want to go and work in Singapore or anything, you already have a bank account. You already have like history there, some transactions. So setting up any further transactions would be an easier step. Like if you want to pay bills, you want to get a credit card, you have some history there. You want to buy any properties, you already have history there. You have a bank account. And last but not least, it's also a bonus point where you can just use your debit card, your Singapore debit card, to do transactions and buy things when you visit Singapore. So there's really no cons or uh, not much serious cons in opening a Singapore bank account. The only cons is that you have to go and fill out a form and apply, and that's about it. Basically, it takes up your time and maybe some mental power and filling up forms. So I guess that's it. I don't see the any negative reasons to not apply for a Singapore-based account for Malaysians. I think it has way more benefits than the trouble it gives you. So that's it for today. I hope you find it useful. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. I read all the comments and I'll try to structure my videos on what people need and what people want. And that's it for today. Take care, and I hope you are doing well in this time. And as always, invest safe, invest smart, and always do your due diligence. Thank you.